What's good, y'all? I'm Stats with Evan, and I'm back to give you my prediction for all 14 games on Week 11 of the NFL slate. As always, these predictions are completely, totally, and 100% unbiased. That means I'm not basing these off which teams or players I like better. I'm just basing these off which team I think has a better chance of winning this game, this week. That's it. That being said, let's get into it. Now, as always, we start with the Thursday night game. This week, we got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Now, these are two teams trending in completely opposite directions. The Seahawks once had the NFC in the palm of their hands, but lately, their grasp has been slipping away. Now, add on, they face a Cardinals team that's coming in red hot. Now, the way the Cardinals beat the Seahawks the first time was by coming up with the clutch plays in the fourth quarter and overtime, and lately Arizona's proven that that wasn't a fluke. Now, add on that the Seahawks defense has become the weakness that I've always thought they would be, so I'm making this my upset of the week and taking Arizona 31-27 over Seattle. And now we move to the 1 o'clock slate. First up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Cleveland Browns. Now, these two have their share of positives and negatives. The Eagles are getting healthy, but lately their story has been every time you think the Eagles are getting their act together, they pull off a dud. Now, the Browns are also getting healthy, but currently they're struggling to score. Case in point, they only scored 10 points last week. I know they won, but also they scored 10 points. Now, between the two, though, I trust the Browns to get the stops they need, so I'll say for the first time since 1994, Cleveland beats Philadelphia. Browns win it 24-13. Up next, we got the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. Now, first off, let's address the question that's on everybody's minds. Without Drew Brees, what's going to happen to the Saints offense? Well, if anything does happen, it shouldn't be anything major for two reasons. Number one, the Saints still have Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. And number two, the Saints only have one game left on their schedule against a team that's currently above 500. The only drawback, that one team in question is the Chiefs. However, I'm seeing more points than you would expect in this one, but the Falcons defense is very, very beatable. So I'm going with New Orleans 31-24 over Atlanta. Up next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Washington football team. If you want to know what the future of the league looks like, look no further than Landover, Maryland, because we're about to see the top two picks from the 2020 draft on the same field at the same time, Joe Burrow and Chase Young. Now, these two teams on the whole have been oddly similar. They've both shown promise, but they still have a lot to be desired. But that's what you'd expect out of two young teams. Washington has yet to beat anybody outside of the NFC East, but the Bengals have yet to beat anyone outside the AFC South. You'd think this would be a something's gotta give situation, right? Well, considering these two tied the last time they met, I'm not so sure about that. But at the end of the day, I gotta pick a winner, and it's a real coin flip. But I think I'll go with Washington 24-21 over Cincinnati. Up next, we got the Detroit Lions and the Carolina Panthers. This game might have a little bit of intrigue to it. Both teams let the fireworks fly on offense last week, and both defenses are pretty vulnerable, which would lead to a high-scoring game, or at least one might think so. What breaks this game is that Teddy Bridgewater's status for the game is currently unknown. The Lions check a little bit more boxes as far as what I know they're going to have on Sunday, so I'll go with Detroit 31-13 over Carolina. Up next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, Evan, that's an easy one. Just say Steelers and let's keep it moving. But I say to you, hold on a minute. Just hold on a minute. This is going to be closer than you think. Why? Because for the second week in a row, the Jaguars are playing the role of a trap game. The Steelers play the Ravens on a short week next week, which is why the Jaguars are the trap game. Now, the Jaguars showed last week that much like Jaguars in the wild, they can be deadly when their prey is unsuspecting. It's going to come down to the wire, but I'll go with Pittsburgh 24-21 over Jacksonville. Up next, we got the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. A matchup 10 months in the making. Both teams are trying to shake off less than desirable performances last week, but the Ravens have one thing on their side. pure, unfiltered rage. The Ravens have been waiting for this day ever since January and ever since the schedule dropped in April. And they're just dying to run it back with the Titans. For this reason, I'll go with Baltimore 34-17 over Tennessee. Next, we got the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans. Now, whether or not the Patriots can make the playoffs remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure. They have a golden opportunity to get back to 500 against the Texans team that's suddenly the best team in Houston at 2-7. Yes, I meant that. The Patriots currently have the third best rush offense in the league, and the Texans struggle mightily to defend the run. In general, the Patriots seem to be one step above the Texans, so I'll go with New England 27-13 over Houston. And now we move to the 4 o'clock slate. First up, we got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Denver Broncos. Okay, this one's open and shut. The Dolphins are one of the most fun teams in the league to watch because they can score in all three phases. And if that wasn't enough, the Broncos might be without Drew Lock. Short, sweet, and to the point, Miami takes it 31-20 over Denver. Up next, we got the New York Jets and the Los Angeles Chargers. This one's also pretty straightforward. Last time we saw the Jets, they put up a pretty good fight against the Patriots, but they haven't shown they can play like that anywhere near consistently. The Chargers' defense may be beatable, but so is the Jets. Add in, the Chargers' offense has already shown several times how explosive it can be, so I'll go with LA 27-10 over New York. Up next, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Indianapolis Colts. Look, I'll give the Packers a break for last week because, like I said, it was a trap game. However, on the other sideline is a red-hot Colts team who was flying under the radar until last week when they commanded the league's respect in Tennessee. On the whole, the Colts have looked very solid lately, while the Packers have looked like a different team every single week. It's going to be close, but I think I'll go with Indianapolis 28-24 over Green Bay. Up next, we got the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, I think I know where I'm going with this. The Vikings have looked formidable over the last 3 weeks, sweeping the NFC North and doing it all against defenses that have looked better than the Cowboys have. Yes, the Cowboys played very well the last time we saw them, but the question is, can they duplicate that performance? At the end of the day, though, I'm going with Minnesota 34-24 over Dallas. Now we got our Sunday night game. This week we got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Between the Chiefs' various weapons and the Raiders' ground game, these two are sure to light up the scoreboard in Vegas. This one's going to come down to who has the lead after the third quarter, as these two are a combined 13-0 this season when that's the case. Before then, the Raiders have talent, make no doubt about that. But the Chiefs are bringing talent mixed with anger because they want get back for Arrowhead. For this reason, Vegas, put them brooms away. Chiefs win at 37-31. And last but not least, we got our Monday night game. This week, we got the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one is very interesting. Both teams got much needed wins last week, and both teams are looking to keep the ball rolling. Both offenses are talented and both defenses are formidable, but this is going to come down to one thing: consistency. The Bucs have been a very consistent team since week 2, whereas the Rams are still on their pattern of good game, bad game. Since last week was a good game, I don't like the Rams' chances here. In conclusion, I'm going with Tampa 27-21 over LA. Well, that's my picks. Which ones do you agree with and which ones do you disagree with? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, I'm Stats with Evan, and I hope you have a 100% day. Oh, before I go, I have an announcement. The CIAA schedule just got released for basketball, so my next call, which I've been waiting for a very long time, will be January 9th when Bowie State takes on Livingstone. I'll leave a link below to the website where my previous calls were, so you can check those out and find out what you're gonna like, what you need to expect from me. So, yeah, I'm out of here, y'all. See y'all next week.